Good morning. Welcome to another one-line meditation. Our teacher for this week is Alan Watts, and this morning's message from Alan Watts has something to do with water. There are so many teachers of ancient wisdom who enjoyed using an analogy with water, and every time I come across it, it really speaks to me. I think I have an equal affinity for analogies based in wisdom, using water as a tool to teach us. Linda, good morning. Somebody, good morning. Leanne, good morning. It's awesome seeing you here. Let's get into today's little piece before we start our meditation. And it starts with taking action, getting things done. But how do we take action wisely? How do I spend my energy only on the things that make me more effective without spending a drop on wasted action? How do I see with clarity what is the next step to take? And it has a little something to do with surrender. Surrender is not about giving up, but it's making the firm decision to not flail about in desperation, to not act in fear, to take a step back, maybe even take a seat, or even lie down and take a breath while I allow the mud to settle and the water to clear. So I will take action, but I will not act in fear. Alan Watts says, as muddy water is best clear by leaving it alone, it could be argued that those who sit quietly and do nothing are making one of the best possible contributions to a world in turmoil. Pat, good morning. It is good to see you. And Anthony, a good evening to you. Awesome having you here, man. And what says to have faith is to trust yourself to the water. When you swim, you don't grab hold of the water, because if you do, you will sink and drown. Instead, you relax and float. He says, stay in the center and you will be ready to move in any direction. Charlene, good morning. It's good to see you. Our close relationship with water is clear through the many water-related analogies that teach us some simple wisdom. While it is true that you couldn't swim in any direction of your choosing without really taking action, the thing is that you wouldn't even learn how to swim without first surrendering yourself to the water, allowing your body to be held by the water. I believe it is equally true that we could become better at surrendering ourselves to life and then find our way with less effort, because we've developed a sense of how life moves. So if you're ready, let's slip into today's journey. Slip into that body of water and immerse ourselves into our pond and learn how to splash a little bit less. If you're ready, you can close your eyes. Here we go. Starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. breath in. And out. One more big breath in. And let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every big inhale raises you up. Every breath gets drawn deep into your belly as you lift yourself higher, stretch out your spine, lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And every exhale is a softening. As you exhale, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and even drop your head. Do you have any experience of softening into a body of water? Even if it is just a beautifully warm bath. With every exhale, feel yourself softening yourself to be held by the water. When we really become good at surrendering our bodies to this water, we get a real sense of how we are held by water. Soften even more. Now it's true that not every example of water looks like a pool or a placid bath of warm water. If you sit on the beach and look at the waves rolling in, that water in motion could be a bit more scary. We could even point at the waves and blame them for trying so hard to drown us. It could feel really personal when you're in those waves and you get dunked by one wave after another. Barely time to pop up your head and breathe before the next wave pushes you under again. So we could sometimes have the urge to make it personal and point at the waves and blame them for trying to drown us. Or While sitting on the beach, we can notice how many people have learned to surrender their bodies to even that moving mass of water and make it look effortless as they deal with wave after wave. Old and young, man and woman, having learned how to surrender, be held by water, making their way through waves in safety, because they've developed a sense of how life moves. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch, adjust, and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles, going forward and to the left and also forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. And as you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. Lean your upper body over to the left and also lean your upper body over to the right. Dipping your left shoulder towards your left hip, and then dipping your right shoulder towards your right hip. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, as much as we are able to at least, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is a really good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, then we'll take the next few big breaths together. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body and feel how softness slowly settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but hold it only for as long as it feels really comfortable, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, the picture we are starting this journey with is our pond, the water in our personal pond. Take your next big breath. What is your most recent example of splashing in your pond? What has most recently caused you to be reactive? Perhaps say and do something that wasn't helpful, or just cause you to feel that instead of taking accurate action, you feel like you're flailing desperately. What has been your most recent experience? Take your next big breath. I really love this analogy of our pond. It creates such a clear image to me. What happens when we splash in a pond? Immediately we're stirring up mud and silt. And the bottom completely disappears from our view. We can't even see where our feet touch the bottom once we've started splashing. Take your next big breath. And when we can't get a sense of our footing and we can't see where to place our foot next, because the water is all muddy, very often it makes us experience even more fear. We're already finding ourselves in a stormy situation, and seeing how to take the next step feels impossible. How often does that fear cause us to splash even more? Take your next big breath. And then I think the worst part of our splashing in our pond is while we're looking down to try and find a better footing, we see our own reflection. And now the reflection is in this choppy, stormy pond. What does your reflection look like while there's a storm in your pond? It's a broken, fractured image of you. But when we're in this stormy state and we look down and see this broken, fractured image of us, it's very easy to believe that this is who I am, this broken, fractured person. Take your next big breath. So for now, we're taking a step backwards and stepping out of our pond. Take a seat on the side of the pond. Close your eyes and for the moment, just breathe. No more splashing in your pond. Just breathing. And often the response that I've heard a lot is, but I did step out of my pond and I am breathing, but I don't feel any better. Alan Watts asks, he asks, do you have the patience to wait for the water to settle? We can't make the water settle. While we lose our patience because we think, but I'm breathing and I want it to be better, all we're doing is reaching back into the water and trying to make it stop. Can you breathe on the side of your pond and have the patience for the water to settle? Take your next big breath. When the water settles And it always does. It always returns to its natural state, which is calm. But only if we have the patience to allow it to settle. Then when you look through the water at the bottom, it becomes clear how to take your next step. Sometimes we're able to take small steps securely and not stir up too much mud so we can see the next step. And sometimes life happens and we stir up a bit of mud again, which means we might have to take a step back one more time and again and wait. But even more than that, when you look down at your pond and see your reflection on its surface, you're given a much more accurate version of who you are. Just like water, if undisturbed, will always return to its natural state. If you get out your pond, stop splashing, wait, have patience and breathe, will always return to your natural state. Calm, and with a lot more clarity. Take your next big breath. The last few big breaths of this phase together, slipping out of the breath holding space and into the next. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, invite softness to settle in every part of your body. One more big breath in. And hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back, even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. I'll read to you again from Alan Watts. He says, "As muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone, It could be argued that those who sit quietly and do nothing are making one of the best possible contributions to a world in turmoil. Do you have the patience to wait for the water to settle? To have faith is to trust yourself to the water. When you swim, you don't grab a hold of the water, because if you do, you will sink and drown. Instead, you relax and float. My biggest wish for you is that moment of recognition. The moment that recognizes, I am about to splash in my pond. Or the moment that recognizes, I have just started flailing and I'm kicking up a storm in my pond. That moment of recognition that gives you the choice, that says either I can splash some more, or I can take a step out. I can surrender. I can breathe, and for a moment do nothing. Because often, for the moment, doing nothing improves the situation, and mostly, splashing and flailing doesn't. While it's true that you could not swim in any direction of your choosing without actually taking action, the thing is that you wouldn't even learn how to swim without first surrendering. Surrendering yourself to the water, allowing your body to be held by the water. And it is equally true that we can become better at surrendering ourselves to life, and then find our way with less effort, because we have developed a sense of how life moves. We'll take the last few big breaths together, 5 breaths of gratitude. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for this softening. Take a deep breath in. Just like water, thanks for learning how to surrender my body to life. Take a deep breath in. I've always known that action is important. We don't accomplish anything without taking action, but thank you for learning that first is surrender. Take a deep breath in. And thank you for learning how much less effort it takes to take action and actually create from a place of surrender. One more big breath in. When you swim, you don't grab a hold of the water. I love that image so much. Thank you, Alan Watts. Thank you for being on our journey today. I wish you a lot less splashing. And that moment of recognition, it sometimes feels like so much grace or a blessing to have that moment of recognition where I can go, either I splash more or I take a step outside and wait a moment. Those are the moments where we don't say the hurtful thing that we were just about to say. And we can get a lot better at that. Thank you, Charlene. Thanks, Sunmay. Good morning, Leshna. Hey, Pepe. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Anthony, and Linda, and Pat, and Leanne. Have a beautiful day. See you again soon. Ciao, ciao.